made this before, but it was a long time ago. So I'm remaking this dish because someone asked me, why you made this? I'm like, actually I did, but I was real polite. I was like, oh, great idea. I'll make it next week. But anyway, this is my take on pesto, and I really like it. I mean, I was just like never really big fan of pesto, and I actually had my brother-in-law made it, and I was like, okay, I can do this. There's some things I would change, but it made me really kind of interested in it. So, you know, I sat and experimented, and this is what I came up with. So the toughest thing is you gotta have a food processor. Sorry, hate to tell you, and if you don't, borrow one. Just kidding. Anyway, so the biggest thing is that pesto is basil. And if you put, this recipe I'm using like 3 ounces of green stuff. If you put all basil in there, it's a little overpowering. So what I do is I cut it in half with spinach. So there's about 1.5 ounces of baby spinach and 1.5 ounces of basil. So actually, it's never going to fit down that chute. Look at that, it goes everywhere. It does smell really good. I mean, I really do love basil, and you know I use it in a lot of cooking. I'm just telling you straight up that I just can't do it pure basil style. Okay, so let's assemble this thing. And I've been cooking like a madman. I have to tell you that because St. Patty's Day is coming, I actually have corned beef brisket in the oven, and it's driving me crazy. Okay, I got up like real early this morning to start this thing, and I was like, how am I going to do this when I'm looking at that? All right. Anyway, so what else do we need? So I got my spinach and stuff. I'm not sure why I put the lid on it, but anyway. So what you really need to add here, and I'm going to take a look again, is pistachios. So I did a little experiment because I always say about 1/2 cup, and people are like, that looks like more than 1/2 cup. Okay, you caught me. So it is a little more, but when you measure, if you think about, if I ground it up and put it in a measuring cup, how much would it be? It would be 1/2 cup. So this is more like 3/4 of a cup, and I've been kind of playing with weight, and I decided that 1/2 cup would be 4 ounces technically. Seemed a little much, so I kind of split the difference. This is a little over 3 ounces. Just so you know, I'm not crazy. Hopefully this is going to help weigh down the greens and get them all chewed up. I love food processors, but I don't trust them to do a really great job. So what am I going to do? Let's get some pulsing done and see what happens. Ready? I can't talk over this thing, trust me. Okay, now that's beautiful. Just telling you, this is like so good. All right, so now what do I have to do? I gotta get some garlic. I can run the, let's see here. Oh man, pistachio, all that flavor. So, want a bunch of garlic, okay? So I mean, I've got 6 good sized cloves of garlic. I'm just going to pulse these just to start getting the oil out, okay? Be still my heart. Now, I have 4 ounces by weight of Parmesan Reggiano, whatever it is, cheese. Love this stuff, man. I get it from a local store, and I usually get it someplace else, But the lady looked at me and says, I not have that today. I was like, oh great, how am I gonna make this? Improvise, that's how I make it. So yes, I really do stress that you should grate your own, but it's really hard to grate, okay? And I do usually use fresh, but I couldn't talk the lady into grating anymore. All right, let's pulse this again. Now, we have this beautiful paste. Wow, this is really over the top. All right, everything looks really good. I'm just gonna scrape down the edges a little bit because I wanna make sure we get everything good. And really, you know, other than the fact if you don't have a good food processor, this is hard to do. And I'm not a snob, but I will tell you that working in restaurants and the fact that I've had this thing literally, I can't tell you. I got it in the early 80s, so it's really old. This thing is 40 years old, okay? More than 40 years old. So, it's a workhorse, you know, and that's what we really want. It's not some newfangled thing. But, you know, certainly if you find another way, and you know, I think Julia Child's probably used an old Robocoup, because that was probably the predecessor. So now, this is where we really got to make sure we've got this really great pesto, is I got to start it, and I got to pour down some olive oil down the chute. Okay? Need about half a cup, and I kind of watch for consistency, but if you're not sure, just measure out half a cup and you're going to be safe. So I get everything ready. Here we go. I'm going to turn it on. Before it dies. All right, so now I have this beautiful pesto, right? And let me show you what it looks like. That's how it should look. Yeah, this is like way over the top. So, now what I need to do, I gotta transfer it into a bowl, and I'm going to show you how we actually cook this stuff and make a great dinner. So I'll be back as soon as I get the kitchen all rearranged for you. See you in a bit. Alright, so I have my beautiful pesto resting in a bowl behind me, and I'm going to show you what are we going to do now. Well, this is how I think you make a really good pesto. Well, first of all, I want to get some really, really good asparagus, nice small stalks from the market produce place, and as you can see, it's all really delicate. Cut off the ends because you don't want that. You know, you don't want to see stalks this big. Okay. Now the oil should be pretty toasty hot. Yes, it is. Okay, so let's get these in here. So I bought a whole bundle of them, and I only need 8 ounces, so I weighed them out pretty careful. For the most part, I just want to get these coated. I'm going to kind of leave them alone, because I don't want to break them up. But I'm going to tell you a fact. This is the only time you're going to, well, not feel like that, rarity. I just need to dance around with a pinch of salt. I want to get some color and flavor out of this stuff. And yes, I know the pesto is going to do all that, but so I literally just want to get a little bit of cooking in here, a little softening, get a little warm, and it's not going to cook completely right now because I'm adding other things that are going to cook, right? Just making sure. I lose track of time sometimes when I'm doing videos. It's funny because like if I were just focused on this, I have it down to science, but you know, I get all like wandering off talking about other stuff, trying to keep an eye on my corned beef brisket in there. Like 6 pounds of brisket, man. So good. If you remember from my recipe, I rinse it really well in cold water, soak it overnight in beer, and yeah, a little Guinness. I was thinking about straining it off this morning and drinking it, but I was like, kind of a little wrong. Okay, so this is just about, it's kind of funny because people think I'm crazy, but I can really start to smell the asparagus. So I know we're doing a good job here. And in reality, if you want to set a timer, it's like 2 minutes, okay? But notice I don't have it like searing to death. I just got a nice little thing going on here. All right, so this is a big dinner. So I got like, I don't know, a pound of shrimp, 20 shrimp, and they're a pound after being peeled. I mean, because I threw in a couple extra. And these bad boys are really going to help. Let's get these in here. These are fresh off the coast of Florida. Just a little bit of olive oil under here. I want to deep fry them. This is called sauteing. Yes, Sheila, I did get an implant. If you know that commercial, let me know. Yeah, turn that up a little bit. Those little shrimps were cold from the fridge. Believe it or not, I stage this all, but obviously, you know, everything's pre-done or prepped, but, you know, food safety is important. To keep stuff in the refrigerator that needs to be cold. And, yeah, if you skip some steps, it might make some of your guests a little ill. Okay. Looking beautiful. You know how the shrimp just like start to turn that beautiful pink? Oh yeah. And this is giving that asparagus a little extra time, and I'm really trying to be gentle. You know, I don't want to make baby food out of the asparagus. And it is firm enough that it should be okay, but you know, especially the ends of the stalk are kind of delicate. And you want a good presentation when you dish this up. So what you can do is you can kind of keep a clear place in the pan. See that? Where you can kind of get the shrimps cooking. They're cooking now, man. Just about. Okay, so before they completely cook, just want to add a little more flavor. So I just have a lobster tail. This is a pretty good sized lobster tail. And I cut it up into cubes because I don't want to spoil all my friends. I just want to give a little extra flavor. And lobster cooks pretty darn quick when you have these little teeny cubes. And these are forkful cubes. They're not like, I'm not that cheap. Of course, I did buy them on sale. I guess that was cheap. pieces are like toasting right up here. So you know, YouTube thinks that I should be selling stuff to make money. So you know, they want me to sell goods. And I'm like, so you want me to put out a whole bunch of money to come up with products, and I doubt they would sell real well, right? You know, I'm not Emerald Lagasse that can sell my stuff at Walmart and Kohl's or whatever. And but wouldn't that be interesting to have a knife set by Bill? I don't think so. Okay, got some beautiful stuff here. Everything's cooking in the neighborhood. So now, here's the fun stuff. I'm not exactly sure, but I've got my pasta. All right, that was like half a box or a little more. And I think I should have figured this out before I did this, but I need to toss it. I think what I'm going to do is, and it's hot, and I poured olive oil on because I cooked it this morning and I didn't want it to stick together. But thinks me needs just a little more olive oil. Make sure. And let's see how we're going to do this. Yes, I can toss it in midair. That doesn't mean it's going to mix up real well. Okay, just throwing it out there. For you, those of you who see that on TV, Great Chefs of America or whatever. Yeah, it really doesn't really work. Okay. Now, famous pasta or pesto of mine. I know everything's hot, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Now let's try and get this mixed in. Get the pesto on the bottom. So now, as we get that pesto nice and warm, we're gonna, it's quite the workout. Now you can see how beautiful it is. Notice how I didn't put all the pesto in at once. So the first step's mixed. Man. So which is better, my corned beef or my pesto? Well, I'll tell you in a little bit because I'm going to be trying them both. Okay. So last but not least, let's get slip it in here. Turn the heat down. Yeah, it's nice and warm. It's going to keep nice and hot. Okay. And let me tell you, all the flavors are just like so cool in here. Didn't have free hand. Had to improvise. I'm going to turn this off. I got my famous, but I could sell these, right? Good idea. Anyway, I'll just put Bill in the bottom. So let's get some. And with things like pesto and other sauces, it's really good to toss the pasta in the pot to get everything coated. Alright, so let's get some of this out here. Alright, so we've got hidden shrimp in there, if you didn't see it. Got a whole bunch of asparagus-y. More asparagus, a little piece of, I got shrimp, I got like 3 shrimp in there, man. Hey, save that for later. It's really ironic that one of my favorite parts is the asparagus. So let's make sure everything's going to cool down here. So I was doing this as a demonstration because I do this all the time, where I make something earlier in the day and then I gotta make it for dinner, right? I serve for dinner. I don't throw this out like some chefs would do. I don't throw food away. I eat it all. I do, can't you tell? But anyway, key to it is, in stuff like this, it's kind of delicate. I'll put it in individual little bowls. And just to be honest, these work out really well because you don't have a big mound. It's kind of flat, you know, get a nice decent surface area. And you can microwave it. If they're oven proof, you can put them in the oven, a low oven. But I mean, microwave's not going to really ruin it. Everything's cooked. Yeah, it's going to separate. And yeah, right now when I take a bite of it, it's going to be better. But I ain't throwing that food away. Okay, just throwing it out there. And I want to be realistic about how much food you make and the portions, so you can really make this and have a lot of fun with it. And so, once again, I bid farewell, and I'm glad that you're watching my video still. There's some really faithful people out there. I do appreciate you. And I just keep inventing stuff in my brain. And you know, I'm going to try and bring some of the older ones out because obviously nobody's like searching for recipes that I did how many years ago? 3.5 years ago. So just wanted you to understand how it all works and get to know me a little better, which I think by now most of you do. And have a great day, and I'll see you next time.